Hey guys, this is Varun Inamdar and welcome to the Indian Culinary League. While experiencing some unique catches and unique fielding moments at the Indian Premier League, here are some unique dips from my kitchen to yours. We have 3 dips in the making. The first one is a honey mustard dip, the second one is a spring onion dip, and the third one is a tandoori tzatziki. While we have 3 stumps here, let's first knock the middle stump. Let's moving on to the spring onion dip. The first thing that I'm going to use is some hung curd. To this, of course, because it's a spring onion dip, I'm going to chop some greens of a spring onion. Keep it as fine as you can. You can also use the white part of the onion, but trust me, just use the green and see the difference. Along with this, I'm also going to quickly chop a green chili nice and fine. I'm using 1 chili, you can go with 2, you can use half. It's a personal choice. Along with this, I'm also going to grate a clove of garlic. You do not need a lot of garlic here because the predominant flavor here is going to be spring onions. And this now straight goes in hung curd. Let's add in the garlic, let's add in the chopped chilies, and finally, lots of spring onion. To this, let's add in some sugar. Not too much, you do not want it sweet, but just a little bit of flavor setting. Some mustard powder. This is yellow mustard powder. You can hand ground it. That's a personal choice. Some freshly cracked black pepper. And finally, some salt as required. Well, just to make it a little differently, what you can also do is, you can lightly saute the spring onions, garlic and chilies, but trust me, try it raw. Give this a nice mix. With this, your spring onion dip is done and ready. Let's now move on to the next one, which is absolute basic, very simple honey mustard. For this, of course, I'm using some hung curd again. To this, I'm adding in a big tablespoon of honey. Make sure the quality of honey is absolutely brilliant. If you get some flavored honeys, well, nothing like that. To this, some ground mustard, crushed black pepper, and finally, some salt. Well, like they always say, you do not need to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Try to make things quick and easy so that you can rustle up things in the kitchen and enjoy your IPL evenings. Give that a quick mix. If you're making a large batch, you could also use a whisk or a hand blender. Since the quantity is small, I'm using a bowl and a spoon. Mix it well. Make sure it's nice and smooth. And with this, let's move on to the third dip, and one of my most favorite, in fact my family favorite, and this one is tandoori tzatziki. Well, we've all heard of tzatziki. It's a Mediterranean dip with cucumber, dill and lots of other things, but this one especially is tandoori flavored. So how we get there? Let's look at that. And the first thing that goes in that is cucumber. All I'm going to do is snip the ends of a cucumber and grate it with its skin on. Well, you can choose to also peel it, but I like it like that. I'm using the largest side of the grater because I like those little bits of cucumber while having the dip. You can also choose to use the smallest or the finest grater. I'll leave that to you. After cucumber, the next ingredient that we move on to is fresh dill leaves. Chop it nice and fine. This has a very unique flavor, and trust me, in a dip you're going to enjoy this. Do not overdo this, do not overpower the dip. Just keep it to a tablespoon and that should do its job. We also need some garlic cloves. I'm going to again grate garlic. Since this is tandoori flavor, I like it with little garlic, and in this case, some more garlic. The first thing that goes in hung curd is some cucumber. Again, of course, I'm not going to use all of it. With this, I'm going to add in dill leaves and grated garlic. Let's give this a mix before we proceed further. Remember the fact that the cucumber is going to leach some water. So the curd in this case has to be nice and thick, unlike the previous ones. The next thing is to give it a very typical tandoori Indianized flavor. And for that, I'm going to add in chili powder to begin with. With this, some chaat masala, salt as required, and finally some fresh lemon juice. Just collect all the seeds because eventually it's a dip and you do not want these bitter bits in anyone's mouth. Let's give this one final mix. And with this, your tandoori tzatziki is ready. With this, 3 types of your dips are ready to be enjoyed with chips, wafers or French fries. Do not forget to like and share the video and enjoy the remaining part of the Indian Culinary League.